Understand the non-negotiables. Location is everything, and I mentioned the builder not doing well with the renovation. This was his problem. He brought in a very poor location. Sometimes it's really tempting because you see some fantastic little cottages that you can do great things with them, and they're cheap. But if it's cheap for you because of the location, the same will apply when you come to sell it. And the location is something you cannot improve. Cultural needs are something that that are often non-negotiable. In our suburb, we have a rising Chinese population. Good feng shui has become an essential. My agent was telling me that he's lost 2 sales recently because of feng shui issues. So it's something that I need to be onto. Other non-negotiables are things like a poor floor plan. It's got to be workable and it's got to flow. Now, this is something you can improve, but if the floor plan's all over the place, it'll turn buyers off. Other things to consider are the universal must-haves like storage, air conditioning. Car parking will be a must-have in some areas and not in others. Adding value on multiple areas. Gone are the days when you can buy something that's run down, do it up and sell it and make a killing. Everyone thinks they can paint and do kitchens and bathrooms, but to make money, you really need to do more than they can do themselves. The biggest value will come from increasing the function in the property. If it's a 2-bedder and you're going to increase it to a 3-bedder, then it will add value. If you're able to subdivide a block off, add a granny flat, well, that's becoming more popular and is very effective. I like to be able to increase the floor plan within the building envelope, but there are times when you need to extend or add a story. They are the big ticket items. Then you go to the aesthetics, the look and feel. The kitchen, the bathrooms always add value, but need to be in keeping with the style of the property and the area, and certainly the budget of the buyer. I've seen a house in a very ordinary area with a big flash $60,000 kitchen, and there's no way in a month of Sundays you'll get your money back if you do that, let alone make a profit. Then the bells and whistles are what build the emotional attachment. Things like staging or styling, it is essential but doesn't need to cost a fortune. I've actually staged a property almost completely with things I've bought from eBay. You do need to style with taste. Also, things like we put a butler's pantry and a wine fridge in the property. Buyers want to feel like they're stepping up. You need to set your property apart. You're often competing with the new market, so you want to be including some on-trend features that they will really love. Also, security systems, nice landscaping, indoor-outdoor living areas, all the things that add to the feel of the place and build on the bond with the buyer. I want to give you an example of identifying ways to add value by responding to buyer objections. If you can find things that really turn people off and fix them cost effectively, then you may be able to turn them into an opportunity. If you can find things in a building report, you can often negotiate the price to cover the repairs, so you're not even wearing the cost of the repair. Here I've demonstrated some of the buyer objections we identified in our property, and I've prepared a separate video if you want to go into that in more detail. There are varying levels of sliding or of structural complexity in a renovation, and they are sometimes referred to as cosmetic and advanced or structural. But really the level of complexity varies on a sliding scale. You can have a simple cosmetic renovation, which is paint, maybe render, kitchens, bathrooms, floor coverings, etc. The next is a cosmetic plus some floor plan work to expand it slightly to create a more open plan living area. This will often make a dining room obsolete, and you may be able to turn that into an additional bedroom. Oh, sorry. But then there's the more complex renovations, which will involve major structural changes, extensions, maybe the addition of a story, plus cosmetic measures. The thing about this is the numbers are different, which is what I want to get into next. What I'm going to give you is some rules of thumb or benchmarks. When you're doing your actual project, you must have actual figures. These are good for just doing a quick initial calculation and really describing the formula to actually making money renovating. The purchase price is 100%. Acquisitions acquisition costs such as legals, due diligence costs, and stamp duty will add up to around about 5%. Stamp duty does increase exponentially with the value of the property. Renovations costs vary from around 10% for a cosmetic to 30% for a complex renovation. You may even spend a little more, maybe up to 40%, but that will depend entirely on what your research tells you that you'll get for the property when you sell it. Then there are holding costs, interest costs, insurance costs, and utilities. And then there are selling costs, agents' fees, legals, styling, etc. You must factor your profit in. Don't leave it to what's left over, because if you can't factor the profit in, it's not a go and you need to move on to another property. So this gives you the sale price you need to make a profit. Don't forget to include a contingency in your renovation costs of 10%. This is for unforeseen items and overruns, and Murphy's Law is you'll have some. So basically, from here, if you buy a property for $100,000 and do a cosmetic renovation on it, you should be selling it for $131,000 to make a 10% profit. And same with a complex renovation, if you buy it for $100,000 and you sell it for $165,000 to establish a 20% profit. Now, just to give you our project as an example, we purchased the property for $890,000, sold it for $1.445, and when we deducted all the costs, we ended up with a profit of $172,000, which is 19.32%. Okay, so next week we will be talking about identifying and researching an area and crafting your renovation blueprint. So thanks for watching this evening, and I will look forward to presenting to you again same time next Thursday night. If you have any queries, there's the email at the bottom of the slide, Bernadette@theschoolofrenovating.com, and I'll look forward to hearing from you.